Hello.
Hello. Becca, might I say your hair is looking.
Yeah, it kind of. I don't even know what happened. To be honest,
I've got some semi curlage going on. It's hard to tell my hair is dark on camera.
my hair just does its own thing, and then I complain about it all day, every day.
Yeah. I've been craving this. You might be able to help me out with. Um, but I have been craving chocolate all day.
Oh yeah. Maybe we could get you some. Maybe I could do that for you. Perhaps we could work that out.
Possibly. We'll
You
see.
want chocolate or you want brownies? Cause
I've just
I
been
could
craving.
make some brownies.
I've just been craving chocolate, and I normally like am not. Like it'll be like, oh, I need something sweet. Like it's just been, I need some chocolate.
You don't have any chocolate in your house?
Might have some chocolate chips. I haven't really looked. I've just been thinking about
Hannah,
it.
when when we go home, like I feel like you eat a lot of just chocolate chips out of the freezer. Like that's you're like I'm always in like, oh, what they got here, and you're like, they got this. Like you go to the freezer and you get a handful of frozen chocolate chips.
Mm.
You munch on them.
That's what I do. It's what I do when I go home. I get a handful of chocolate chips. We very much an ingredient household growing up, so it was just cheese on tortilla for quesadilla and then poverty nachos or a handful of chocolate chips. And that was, or some toast.
It
That's what it was. That's what it still is.
continues to be.
But anyway, Becca,
Hannah,
IMDb versus Letterboxd. We gotta
tell me.
talk about it.
I've been waiting for this all week.
So I re-downloaded Letterboxd and I have been putting information for movies I've been watching or have recently watched into IMDb and Letterboxd. Okay, and there are pros and cons to both. So I'm just gonna and I you are a frequent IMDb user, but you don't use Letterboxd.
I've never attempted to use Letterbox because I what when I started IMDb, I was on the laptop, so I've never
Mhm.
had an like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just like want to see. Here's here's my main wants out of one of these platforms. I want to see the stats for myself and for just the movies. I want to, and that includes like the movies I've watched and the ratings. And because I'm always curious of like what I think versus what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah.
Those are really mostly I want to be like, oh, I watched 300 movies this year. Or, oh, I watched
You
this
want a
movie.
Spotify Wrapped?
Yes, I want a Spotify Wrapped for my movies. That is what I want. So, IMDb, I like that the search engine, like, if you want to look up something about a movie, where do you go? IMDb. So, I like that the whole IMDb part of it is built into the ratings and all that stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
it is IMDb still, which we love. Who doesn't love IMDb? IMDb is a 1 to 10 star system, which I enjoy. Um, and you can see stats on IMDb for free. Um, what the stats are for Letterboxd, not 100% sure because you have to buy the pro version to see stats.
Ridiculous.
So that's a little, I don't get
You
that.
know how much I hate a paywall. I hate
Mm,
commercials. Why
hmm.
are you making me buy these things? You got the information for free. I gave it to you for free. You're
Yeah.
making me charge for it?
Hmm. So
Ridiculous.
that already is like a major bump up for IMDb. You get to see more stats without having to pay for anything. And you don't have to download, you can download the IMDb app but you don't have to. So there's a bonus. And then something only been using these, like I'm not super deep into them, so maybe I'm wrong. Um, but you can put movies on IMDb in your check-ins. So it's like, oh, I've recently, like, let's say I watched this movie a year ago, but I rewatched it again. Like, you can put it in as your check-in. So it'd be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that would essentially be this is how many movies I watched this year, or like your check-ins, or this is what I've been watching recently. It does have on Letterboxd your recent activity, but I think it only shows a couple, like your most recent top three or five or something. Um, and then on Letterbox, it does have um your like it's like, oh, I don't know what the numbers are because it's like it, okay. There's like lists where it's like you can make your own lists. That's on both of them. They're very similar. Um, on Letterbox you can follow people, which is interesting, where you could like I could search up someone that I know is on Letterbox and be like, "Oh, this is what they're watching. This is what they've rated things." So I think that's interesting. And a very very big like check in the Letterbox category is Letterbox you can review Letterbox and IMDb you can review things. However, there is a word count minimum on IMDb, and I think it's like 300 characters or something. No minimum on Letterboxd. So like if you want to write a quippy little funny joke about the movie as your review, you can do that. But if you're going to review something on IMDb, it's got to be like a legit review. So I don't love the word count minimum. So that is a tick in the letterbox category of you could just write whatever you want and it's
On
not.
Letterbox, if you rated it just the stars but didn't want to write anything, can you do that?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So you can do that on both. Um, and then Letterbox is a 1 through 5 rating system. However, there are half stars, so it's essentially still a 1 through 10 because if you did 3.5, that would be 7. If you did full
That's
5, that would be
that's
10.
I thought it was just straight up whole stars, and I'm like, that's a huge disadvantage. But there's half, doesn't matter.
It's essentially a 1 through 10. So that really doesn't do much. And those are all the things that I noted. So that being said, they kind of feel 50-50. However, my heart is leaning towards IMDb.
I have to agree.
I know you agree. I think it, and here's a down something in the negative column for Letterbox. It's very like, oh, what are your things on IMDb? Like it feels like the Apple versus Android debate where it's like Apple is very mainstream, like Letterbox is so mainstream, where it's like for what like is this actually better? So like I don't know. I have some
The hype
preferences.
is just in the name.
It's you're yeah. I've been getting videos on my For You page where it's like for like cookware. It's like, are you buying the product or are you buying the name? Are you with me?
Yeah.
Where it's like, is it actually a good product or is it just like a really good brand name or like popular brand name? This is what's happening with Letterboxd and IMDb. They are essentially the same. There are a couple differences and pros and cons to both. But I think Letterboxd, you are paying for the name. IMDb is the OG. It's been here. It's the tried and true. So I think I'm gonna
Did
re-delete Letterboxd.
did you only have one con for IMDb? Was the word limit?
I think so. But the really,
So
but really, the only con for Letterboxd was the paywall.
yeah,
So, but I think IMDb and I feel like they had the things that were different about them had equal amounts of good for like you can follow people on Letterboxd or um you can add your check-ins on IMDb. Like I feel like there was an equal amount of pros and cons for each. that they really are pretty even, my heart was just being drawn to IMDb a little bit more.
And let's leave it that way.
Yeah, yeah. As far as you know, you can't follow people on IMDb.
I've never tried.
Oh,
I'm
see, like
I'm
I'd love
I
to follow you, Becca.
if you go to a list and you can see who made the list, but I've
Hmm.
never tried to click on a user. I bet you could. Let me try right now. Let me give me just 1 second. My
Okay, okay.
phone is
I'd
not
love
with
to
me.
follow you. You'd probably be the only person I would follow, but you know, I'd love to compare and contrast our our movies and
That
stuff
that would be much fun. I'm gonna try
because
right now.
we talk about the differences of how we rate things here on the pod, and but to see it laid out in front of me in a graph, ooh, that would hit.
Ooh,
That would.
I love me some stats. So good.
And what I was doing to compare and contrast these is I was logging the same movies, the same reviews, doing everything the same for Letterboxd and IMDb, to make it like a true um test. Um what's experiment? Is that is that
I I guess
what word am I trying to think of? Whatever. It
experiment.
doesn't matter. It really does not matter. And I feel like as I have been reviewing things, we've talked about how you're more harsh on reviewing and I'm more giving on reviewing. But as I like see all of my things stacked up against each other, it might change how I review things because I'm like, oh, well, these are not all eights, or these are not like all of these
I
movies that I put of eight, they're not all the same level.
One thing I love about IMDb, this is sidetracking me a little bit, but when you on the app, it doesn't do it if you're on the web, but if you rate a movie on the app, it'll pull up. It's before you rate it, but it's when you click it, so it shows you little stars, and you're like, oh, 5 out of 10, and then it will go other movies you rated 5 out of 10, and you can look and compare them. And you're like, oh, this movie is exactly the same as the movie I rated 5 out of 10. You're like, no, this movie's way better than this movie I rated 5 out of 10. So it like changes your rating because you're comparing it to what you've already compared to. I love that. I think it reinforces, like I've told you about how my rating is often flawed, but this alleviates that a little bit because I'm like, now I'm not comparing it to the number of goodness. I'm comparing it to where I put the other ones. It's not great because those ones, the original move, like if I rated it without looking at the other ones, that's just based on the number. But you understanding?
Yeah, so would you recommend the app then?
As opposed to getting it on web.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay.
There's very, very few differences, but I don't think there's anything that's on the web that's not on the app.
Yeah.
So might as well get that.
Mm. It's just another app I have to have.
I don't
You
have a ton
know?
of apps. I have like yeah. I My last phone that I had physically couldn't hold any other like I had like Duolingo and I had that's probably it actually is Duolingo and then all the other stuff that it came with.
Hmm.
Oh, and Instagram is the other one I had. But now my phone can hold apps willy nilly and I can just get whatever I want.
Mm.
It's crazy.
Real time, I'm gonna delete Letterboxd right now.
All right.
I'm uninstalling it. Can't stop. Can't go back.
That's crazy.
One
Okay.
thing that I don't like about my phone is on where all of the apps are, like you know where things are. So like you could be like, "Oh, I'm going to this specific app. I know it's on this page and in this spot." Once I delete an app, it shifts them all up. So then I have to go find something else to put in its spot, so it keeps all the other ones in the
I do
same.
the same thing. I have like I put most everything in a folder so it's all one. Because mine
Mm,
doesn't scroll sideways, it scrolls up. And
mm-hmm,
so I'm like, I'll just leave it so it's just those ones that are there. But when you download a new app or get rid of one, it changes everything. Okay,
yeah.
here's I'm on the app.
Hmm.
The two things I've tried to look at users, well, I guess three things. I went to a movie and I went to a list and I went to the author of the list and I clicked the name and you can't click the name. So what I did was I looked at the name and then I searched the name just straight up. Doesn't show you the person. And then I went to that same movie and I went to a review and it shows you who wrote it, but you still can't click on them or search it. So I don't think you can follow people on
Okay.
IMDb.
Well, we'll just have to compare and contrast in real life.
Yeah.
All right, Becca, let's get on to today's legitimate topic of the week.
Let's.
What are we talking about?
We're back on X-Men.
We're still,
That's
we never left.
yeah. What we did an episode between, but it won't be in between when these come out, so
Who
don't worry
knows if,
about it.
who knows? Who knows? I know. I could figure it out, but I'm not gonna at this moment. We're on X2.
Yup.
X2, our dad's favorite.
Which okay, yeah, here's my recap.
Yeah.
I got thoughts, but here's my recap. And I watched this movie yesterday, so we'll see
Okay.
how good this recap is.
Yep.
Um, we start off at the end of X-Men. Logan leaves to go figure out his past. At the beginning of this one, he's in the winter. He's in the snow, looking for his past. He goes to this facility, I guess, by Alkali Lake, or is it called Alkali Lake? Whatever, doesn't matter. He goes there. There's nothing there. It's just like a trash building. He goes back to the school, and there's an event that happens before he gets back, but I forget.
Oh,
Uh,
the president? Is that what you're talking about?
yes, that's what I'm talking about. The president attempt on his life. We see Nightcrawler. This is probably why we thought Nightcrawler was in the first one because he's in this one. Um, he's pretty cool. He tries to kill the president. He fails. He leaves. Leaves a knife that has mutant freedom taped onto it, and it's on the news, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's mutant problem. That's crazy." And everyone's like, "That's crazy." We go back. We go to the school. All the teachers are like, "That's weird. Why?" Like, obviously, the person who did this is not for mutants because this could only do bad things for the mutants. They're like, "Is it Magneto?" And they're like, "Well, I don't think it would be because he's smarter than that. Also, he's in prison, but hasn't stopped him." And I'm forgetting the like inciting event. Do they just do the cops just come? Is that what happens?
Okay. So,
I can't. Here's what I'm saying. I can't remember what happens between what I just said and
mhm.
when they leave the school.
So Nightcrawler gets picked up. So, Storm and Jean go to pick up Nightcrawler while Charles and Cyclops go to see Magneto.
Okay, they go and visit Magneto, and Cyclops has to stay outside, and Professor X goes in. They chat, and he's like, "Hey, Professor. They've been like torturing me, and also I told them all your secrets, and that sucks for you." And then, boom, they try to kill him. They try to kill Cyclops. They try to kill Professor X. They get him out of there. I
The
forget.
so the bad guy was his name Stryker.
Yeah,
He comes in
forgot
and
about
does the
him.
droppy things on Charles, kidnaps him.
Yoink.
That's important. Um,
Yeah.
you said you watched this yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was like, I can't really remember any of the stuff that's like the plot. I just
Okay.
remember bits. But I am now remembering. I will jump back in. They
There is
steal.
kind of multiple, like a lot is
Yeah,
going on at the same time.
they steal Professor X. Cyclops gets away? Question mark. Um, the girls are find Nightcrawler. They bring it back, and they're like, he's like, I didn't do it. Like I did, but I couldn't control myself. And they were like, that's weird. Just come back with us. And he's like, that's cool. While they're gone, so it's just Logan at the school. Striker question mark. It's is it Striker or is it the FBI or something?
The president.
The president decides to attack the school and get all the kids. And Logan and Rogue and Rogue's boyfriend and Rogue's boyfriend's friend, I don't remember their names. They escape, and then what's his face, Metal Dude, takes all the rest of the kids. They escape too, but separately. They go to Rogue's boyfriend's parents' house in Boston to go do something, and he tells his parents, "Hey, I'm a mutant. Sorry I didn't tell you. To school is a mutant school. I'm not going to a prep school. Don't freak out." They totally freak out. The brother calls the cops on them, and the cops come and they leave. And Logan gets shot in the head, so he's like unconscious for a little bit. And the fire guy, oh, they went to a museum at the beginning. That's the part I was missing. Anyway, the fire guy makes a huge scene, and then everyone like kind of fixes it a little bit. Logan comes back. We're all chill. Storm comes and they get them and they go somewhere. They're in the jet. This is where I'm fuzzy a little bit. Something happens and they're like, we gotta go back. Oh, Magneto. That's what happens. Mystique puts iron into the guard. The guard goes into the prison. Magneto takes the iron out of the guard and then takes himself out of the prison. Very cool scene. I
That
Very
scene,
cool scene.
before we started doing this whole X-Men rewatch, that scene is the only scene, well, that and the Statue of Liberty scene from the first one are the only scenes from the OG X-Men that I remember.
They're pretty cool. She's like,
Hmm.
I don't remember anything without Magneto.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, so then does Storm just like pick up Magneto? He joins the crew somehow.
So their plane's falling out of the sky because
Right.
their missiles were going for them.
Forgot about this part. He stops the plane and he's like, let's let's go, and they go to the Alkali Lake, same place that Logan was at because he didn't check underground, and they're all just underground. Here's the plan. Bad guy's plan. Bad guy has a son who used to go to the school. His power is to like kind of like mind control, pretty much. And so he's gonna mind control Xavier to use the machine.
Cerebro,
Cerebro. I was like, it starts with a C, but I couldn't remember. Um, to kill all the mutants.
which,
Um,
pause, I'm watching Stranger Things right now, and in the season that I'm on, they like keep talking about Cerebro. I'm like, my worlds are colliding. Anyway,
crazy. Um, yeah, that's the plan. They go in. There's a big water. It's underground in like a flood sewer thing. And so Mystique goes in, dresses Logan, gets caught immediately, fights, changes, goes into the security system, opens up the door. They all come in. Logan leaves his little thing to go find Stryker because he's like, my past. And he goes and finds him, and he finds all the X-rays of him. I'm jumping around a little bit, but it's a fight scene, so it's like fine. He finds his past, I guess. He finds where he turned into Wolverine, and Stryker's like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? Wasn't this so fun when I did that to you?" And he's like, "No, it was not fun at all." And there's another mutant lady, just like Wolverine, but it's more claws. They fight. She gets pumped full of adamantium and drowned. So put that on the list of Wolverine's weaknesses.
I think
And
drowning and cutting off his head are the only two ways you can kill him.
perfect. Keep it on the list then.
Mm.
Um, uh, the other guys are fighting at during this point. Oh, here's what it is. They go and they find the kid, and Mystique turns into Stryker, and he's like, "Don't kill all the mutants, kill all the humans. Do that instead." And he's like, "Okay, cool." He tells uh Xavier to kill all the humans, and that's what starts happening. And then I was thinking there was an earthquake, but it's the flood. There's a flood because they're in the flood sewers. Flood happens. Nightcrawler goes and gets everybody. They are back out. Oh no, where's the jet? We went through the wrong way because we couldn't go through the way we came. But Rogue flies the jet just kind of to exactly where they are. I know what was her plan originally? Because she can't see where they are when she took off.
I
She
don't know.
was she was just taking off and just happened to land in the same spot, and they happened to be out, and
Yeah.
it's whatever. It works out for them. But yeah, picks everybody up. But oh no, the flood is coming. Uh, and Magneto took the helicopter, and so Jean leaves, stops the flood with her magic powers, takes the plane off with her magic powers. Everyone's like, "No, Jean, you can't." She's like, "Shut up! I'm doing this for you." She dies. They escape. They go back to the school. All is well, kind of. They go to the president is about to make a speech about how he's gonna totally kill all the mutants because that's not exactly what he says, but you know it's the same. And they freeze everyone else, and they're like, "Hey, you know how you don't like mutants? We're mutants. Uh, and you should like us because we're not the bad guys." And he's like, okay. And he's like, "You know who was the bad guy? The guy that you were listening to this whole time. Here's a file that proves that he was the bad guy and tortured a bunch of people and also, yeah." Unfreezes time. The president doesn't say anything, and then he begins to say something, and then it cuts out, and then it's like the end of the movie. Ta-da! X-2.
Gene.
I remember. Here's one of my initial thoughts. I remember that when I first watched the first two X Men, because I watched this was on the trailer trip, so we watched X Men the one day, and then the next day we watched X2, and I remember liking X2 a lot more than I liked X1. And on this rewatch, I feel like I liked the first one better for because I felt like when I was watching the second one, it's never good when you're thinking about other things when you're watching a movie. That's not you're like, "Oh, what time is it?" or "When's dinner?" or whatever. That means you're not invested in the movie. The movie ain't doing its job. I found myself not thinking of the movie many times during this movie. But it's still pretty good. It's still just like good average sci-fi 2000s movie. Would rewatch. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it was maybe like a half step above X-Men. Um, but like here's my problem with it. Um, so I've already apologized for us watching these in chronological order. And what I have found is if you watch the OG first and then the prequels seem like really bad movies because of everything that happens in these ones where if you watch the prequels and then you watch the OG ones kind of don't make a lot of sense. For example, like in this one, there's all this stuff with Stryker. Stryker is in the prequels as like a young man. So it's like confusing when you're like, wait, I know this guy, but like in these ones, he has all this backstory that isn't explained in the prequels. So what I know about him is and isn't true. So like those kind of things are confusing. And then there's like Mystique dies and like all this stuff that like both of these things can't really exist in the
They
same.
can't be prequels.
They can't. Only first class can. First class can, and then the other ones like don't make a lot of sense when you're watching them either chronological or back to back.
Yeah.
So Um, I don't know why oh, it feels just like a step above the first one for me, but it does also just feel like just an average kind of superhero movie. Like it wasn't moved at any point. I know like when our dad was on, he talked about when Jean dies, how it was this big thing because she's a main character and like how can Jean die? She's like one of the wouldn't it be a shame if they made her death mean nothing by bringing her back? I wonder if that's gonna happen. So like I wasn't moved by that, which is probably the most movie thing in the story. You know what I was? The one time I was like, well, that was okay, was when Nightcrawler saved Rogue when she fell out of the plane. That was the only time
That's a
that I
good
really
move
was
right
like,
there.
oh, okay, that kind of
I
felt it a little
I
better.
really like Nightcrawler in both
Hmm.
this and the prequels. Quality character.
Yeah. And also, again, like they meet Nightcrawler in the prequels where they meet Nightcrawler in X-2. It's just, it doesn't, they're not great when you put them together.
That's our bad for thinking they went together though.
It's hard because I only watched First Class. So I'm like, yeah, amazing prequel. But the rest of
Tricked
them are
ya.
just tricked, yeah. Also, Alan Cummings is so young in this movie. I was like, this is crazy because I only see him as like traitors. Alan Cummings is what he's been to me for years and years. But like even like I'm not like a Spy Kids kid. I've seen him and like I know he's in Spy Kids, but like when I think of Alan Cummings, I think of what he is now, and I forgot how young he was in this movie, or at least how young he looks. I don't know 100% his actual age, but again, he'll be in Doomsday. Hate to bring it back up, but Doomsday, he'll be there. And yeah, Alan Cummings. Another thing that really throughout the entire movie of this, Wolverine's hair is so stupid. I know.
That's one of the when he came was like the it opens with him, and I first thought was is his hair like that in the first movie? Because I
It's
don't
not.
remember,
It's not. It's like on the verge of that, but like
but
this
it's
is way more the comic
very
book
curly.
curl or spike or whatever you want to call it. It looks so dumb in person. Stop doing it. They did it in Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think was fine because it was like a joke. But like this is like why? Why? Nobody would do their hair like that. Like it looks so dumb. And also his relationship with Rogue. In the last one it's fine because like he saved her like but like now there's this weird like he's already in the love triangle with Jean and Cyclops, which I like, which I think adds momentum and like things to the plot, which is good. But like he's in also this weird relationship with Rogue where it's like Rogue likes him in like a weird way, but also has the boyfriend Bobby where it's like this whole situation is making me feel weird and I don't want it in the movie at all. I don't like it. So
I like
Wolverine
their
is
relationship a lot more in the first one.
Rogue and Wolverine.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
just
like
like I don't know, like just being nice, I guess.
yeah, so Wolverine is not my favorite person in this movie because of all those reasons, but and then also he mostly has to do with the striker stuff in this movie, which I already explained is kind of confusing because we knew him from before, but not really. Um, and and the fire guy is never helping any situation. He's only causing problems. The main thing that's running through all these the X-Men movies is are mutants good or bad or can we coexist with mutants? And this guy is doing nothing but hurting the cause. Like he is so bad guy coded, like it's pissing me off. Which which
It's
if
nice that his only friend has opposite powers though.
yes, yeah, I did think that. I was like when he's blowing up all the cop cars, Bobby, get in there and stop him. Because Bobby can create ice. He can't create fire. So Bobby, Bobby, do something. Rogue finally stepped in, but after so much damage, like, and he did it like in the museum and the cop, like, bro, you would have been fine if you literally just didn't do anything. Fire guy's pissing me off.
If I got we're going out to a museum field trip day, and then one guy just like ruined all of it. We're like, what are you doing? Attacking a person, and now we have to go home. I'd
I
be
had a
upset at.
thought during that scene where the fire guy is blowing up all the cop cars, where it's like, throughout any superhero movie, the biggest thing is, are these superheroes, mutants, whatever, are they should they be controlled by the government? Is any superhero movie, that's going to be a underlying plot or the main plot. Should they be controlled by the government? In this movie in particular, I did think to myself, like you think, oh, the Avengers kind of only step in when something is going down. The X-Men are actively causing problems in this movie. Like,
I feel like it's interesting like to see different shows and how they treat that. I think of you've never seen this show, but a show I used to watch when it came out, My Hero Academia. They have superheroes, and their superheroes are kind of freelanced by the government. They're how it works is I want to become a superhero. I have superpowers, right? I go and I get my superhero license through
mhm,
years of training to become a license. Now I have my own like building that's like my superhero building agency, whatever. And then I go and do stuff, and then I get paid for doing good things or like solving crimes. And I'm like, would that ever work with people like the Avengers? Because I feel like the kinds of people who become the X-Men and the Avengers would their egos are so high that I don't
well,
think that
wait.
they could like
Did you say, so they have to apply to be a superhero, but can
yeah
they just do superhero things whenever they want, or are they still contracted by the government?
they they can do superheroes things whenever. So regular people who have powers are not allowed to be vigilantes, right?
Hmm.
But if you're registered superhero, you're allowed to do what like you're allowed to just like do whatever you want superhero wise.
Okay, I think that would work because, like, I always think about the Sokovia Accords. The government wanted them to like register and all this stuff, but they were going to be contracted by the government, so they could only do things when the government would allow them. So if they're just licensed or whatever, and then they can do whatever they want, I feel like that would work.
I feel like this is because you have to be licensed. It's the like what Batman, Superman. Who's gonna pay for all the damages? The damages go back to you because
Mm.
you're registered as the guy who did it, caused all the problems.
Yeah, I feel like the damages is a tricky one. Um, but because, let's say Batman and Superman are both licensed, um, and they're fighting each other in downtown, who's paying the damage? Is it who started the fight? It's a he said, she said situation. But anyway, that's not important.
I I've just seen bits of Batman and Superman, and I feel like never mind. Actually, I haven't seen enough of it, and I heard it was bad. But like,
We're not gonna
I
get into Batman
yeah
versus
yeah
Superman.
yeah yeah. My
Yeah,
thoughts
I feel like
on X2, not as good as I remember it,
I
but still
wonder
pretty good.
why this one is Dad's favorite.
Yeah,
Like, what specifically about this one? Because it feels the same to me as X-Men, the first one.
yeah.
Will it feel the same? Are X-Men, X-2, and Last Stand, or whatever the next one is, are they all gonna feel the same because they're all the same vibe to me?
Are we
Whereas,
just
like,
getting X-Men out because this is our like seventh movie?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. The next one, pretty sure Last Stand is, it's we only have one more, correct?
I believe so.
So, um, and I do believe Last Stand is the uh the Jean Grey movie.
Not
of
excited.
the OGs. So historically, I don't remember what this one was rated back in the day, but the other Jean Grey movie is not great. And she just died in X-2, so what gives? She gets her own when the posters or the trailers or whatever came out for Last Stand, I'm sure everybody was like, "What the what? What?" She
You
just
just killed
died.
her.
She just died though. We've also yet to see Beast, so he better show up in Last Stand.
I I feel like I remember him being because I knew of the character, but I had never seen any of the prequels. So why
Hmm.
did I know him?
Yeah, because when the Doomsday announcements of who's from the X-Men who is joining the Doomsday cast, I was like, "Oh yeah, the classic X-Men." Whereas like Nightcrawler wasn't in the first one, Beast wasn't in the first one or two. It's like, "Oh,
Mm,
honestly,
just
I don't remember
fan
anything from
favorites.
Last Stand, but what is going to happen in Last Stand that makes these guys the coming back ones for Doomsday?"
I've never seen it, so I guess we'll find out.
I guess we will. Crazy. Now I'm looking forward to it. I have expectations for The
That's
Last
crazy.
Stand.
That's best way to go to a movie is it's thinking it's gonna be a waste of your time though.
Correct.
So
Correct. So,
maybe lower those expectations.
actually not excited. Dreading it. So I give this movie a 6 out of 10.
I will also give this movie a 6 out of 10.
It's good, but still just like a little mid.
Yeah.
But no qualms really, except for my part I played in this where I watched the prequels first. That was my fault, and I do
Yeah.
recognize that.
Negative points for you, but
Oh, I
for the
actually
movie,
had qualms about Wolverine. So, and the fact that they killed Jean Grey. So I actually do have qualms about this movie. Um, I just cannot stand it anymore when people kill somebody to just bring them right back. I saw a thing today. You know the whole thing where it's like if this person dies in Doomsday, like I'll burn the house down or like all that stuff. Or like for the Stranger Things one where it's because finale comes out on Christmas Day. So this is being recorded before Christmas. But they're like, "Oh, if Steve died, like me opening presents on Christmas after my favorite character just died," and it's like them crying or whatever. It's like, okay, anyway, I saw a thing today where it was like, if this character dies in Doomsday, I'll be like so sad. And it was Loki. I was like, he's already died so many times. Like, I will
it
not be
doesn't matter if he
surprised.
does.
I will not care if he dies actually in Doomsday anymore because I love Loki, but they've killed him and brought him back so many times that it won't matter to me. It will not matter.
One death is good enough.
Yeah.
So
That
I was gonna
that's
say I was like sometimes you get it with two, but I can't think of an instance where they kill off a character two times and it's good.
see well and because I know Last Stand is about Jean Grey, I can't fault this movie for killing her because they haven't brought her back yet. They bring her back in Last Stand. So that will be a negative point for Last Stand, not for X-2.
Let's let's see how they explain it. So
So keep that in mind.
Will right here safekeeping
Yeah. What do you rate this movie?
6, just like you.
Oh,
We said it at similar times. I said
I
mine right
couldn't
after.
remember. I couldn't remember. I just got so heated about the
This is
deaths,
your heated
unfortunately.
voice.
Do not kill somebody and then bring them back immediately. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand it.
I
Anyways,
agree. Are we in agreement?
it's crazy.
It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
think we've been in agreement about all of the X-Men movies for the most part. Like,
Yeah,
what do we agree on? The X-Men. That's it.
which is an odd topic to agree on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, any
Anyways,
final statements before I get out of here and go find myself some chocolate?
uh, No.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.